Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to install Kubernetes and actually get the Kubernetes dashboard up and running as you see here on the screen. I don't have anything in the dashboard yet because I haven't gone to the next step, but at least I can show you how I took my first steps into getting Kubernetes running and then also getting this dashboard to load that I'm sure will be a very helpful and handy thing once I learn more about Kubernetes. So first thing that you're going to need to do is open up Docker Desktop and then come up here to the gear icon, and that's the settings, and you're going to click on Kubernetes, and then you're going to click on this Enable Kubernetes. A button for apply and restart will appear here. Then you'll see a status that shows up here underneath Kubernetes, telling you what its status is. It took me about 5 minutes to get everything installed, so you do need to be patient. When everything is installed for Kubernetes, you should see another little icon that exists right down here with the Kubernetes icon, and it should be green, meaning that it's running. We also have this Docker engine desktop, so you should have two icons in the lower left-hand side when you're done. And that is really all you need to do to get Kubernetes up and running. Now, after that, you still need to do a couple of steps, and I'm going to actually have the article that I used to get all of the instructions for this in the description. There's a lot of information in here, a lot of great information, so I'm still working on this article to see, what some of the more stuff that I can get, but as far as just getting up and running, the next step is going to be installing the Kubernetes dashboard. So according to this article, and I used it, it does work. There is a line of code that you can use. So I'm just going to throw a clear on this because I actually took it a step further. So the code is basically using the command line for Kubernetes. There is a kubectl command line that will come along once you've enabled Kubernetes, and then we're applying this this dashboard from a YAML file, and this line of code is actually what is going to install the Kubernetes dashboard. I'm not going to run this because I've already installed it, as you can see on my browser. So like I said, the link is going to be in the description, so you don't necessarily have to worry about that. The next thing that we need to do is we then need to run kubectl and then proxy, which will start our dashboard, and we should get a URL that tells us what the dashboard we can use is. So I misspelled that, so let me just throw a clear on there because I missed the E in kubectl. So error listening, bind only once because it's already running. But if you do this, you'll see kubectl, and then you should get the output of a URL that has now been created for you to reference later when you're loading the dashboard. For me, it was localhost port 8001, and we can just verify that by looking at the URL over here. So yes, it was localhost 8001, and I'm getting an error when I run that because it is already running. So after running kubectl proxy to get the environment running, the next bit of code that you're going to need, again, is referenced in the article. That was very helpful, was this little line of code that uses the kubectl command line again and allows us to bypass the user login. You're going to find this helpful because when you first go to the login page, it's going to have a screen that looks like it's asking you for a token or for a password, and this little line of code will allow you to skip that. Obviously, you don't want to do this in production, but we're setting up our own environment, so it's okay to skip that setting, and it allowed me to get in and verify that everything was working. So after you've disabled the login, then I used this URL to load the dashboard. I'll just close this window right here and open up a new tab, and it's localhost 8001, which will probably be the same for you. And then there's this big long URL, which, as the article points out, is not necessarily the most intuitive, so you might want to bookmark it for future use. So if I hit enter on this, I am taken to a screen that looks like this. You might get taken to a screen that looks more like this in the article. And if you do, there should be another button if you followed the instructions that should allow you to skip the login. So you can see that here, this will be a little button, this Kubernetes dashboard. Hit that skip button and you should come to a screen that looks like this, that is verification that things are, if not empty, still running. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next video.